brief introduction. I'm doing different clips for different videos, some on the same day, and happen to separate them later. This is for the Real Apolitical News and End of Days Discussion combination video to be uploaded later today. Just a look into it as we go further. A clip about the wood sculpture, in which the net proceeds for any wood sculpture sales will go to the humanitarian side of the Electric Scooter Roadshow. It's going to be in this uploaded video and in the Electric Scooter Roadshow that will be uploaded Wednesday night for people to see Thursday during the day or evening. That same owl expo is going to be in both clips. Because that's for the humanitarian side, it fits in the lines of the end of days discussion part of it, and a little bit in the real apolitical news, because the whole idea is that it needs to be gotten going now. I can't wait for a 501c and all these other technical things that go along with a humanitarian project. People are struggling now, so I'm getting it going now. Everything else will fall in place because God has me on this. So yes, the owl will be in both video clips. It'll be the exact same video with the exact same instruction, just uploaded on different dates around other video clips. Real Apolitical News is about both of the main topics that have been out now, the Omicron variant of Corona, and a little bit about the recent mass shootings. The end of days discussion is going to tell us where Christian superstition is bad, and that how a lot of folks are reacting to occult symbolism and things that represent curses in panic and fear, instead of in faith, and how it affects the people around you that may not be as much into the Bible as you, versus other people that are more into the Bible than you, and versus how it affects yourself, and how both God and Satan look at you when you react to those dark spiritualism things in that manner, instead of hitting it head on and being mindful of it but not being panicky over it. So that's the introduction. On the next clips you're going to see after I do the video editing, and I'm going to end this clip here. We'll move on to the other parts. Alright, as I stated in an earlier clip, we were going to show you the wood sculpture. And there'll be a lot more of these done and auctioned to raise money for the humanitarian project of the site. And so all the net proceeds will go to that, and that's a lot because I use scrap pieces of wood. So the only cost is replacing these little bits right here that are used in the sculpting process, and if it needs to be stained or painted, the cost of those. In this case, it's plain wood, and my friend Karen is holding it here for me. It's plain wood with wood burning. I don't actually have a wood burner, but what happens with these bits here is each one has a different rotation. The faster the rotation, the harder the pressure, the darker the color you're going to get of a wood burning. It heats the wood up to really hot. And so you would use the sanding wheel for lighter brown tones, and you would use the cutting disc that's wider for darker, almost black tones, and doing the coloration for your sculptures if you're going to use a wood burning thing. And in approximately 2 weeks you're going to have a wood sculpting lesson, so I'm giving you a little bit of a preview. Not just for letting you know that these will be auctioned for the house repair program, but to also let you know that the sculpting lessons are coming up as part of the videos on YouTube and Rumble. So that's what we have for you today. It's about a 2-minute clip, and I'm going to take about 2 more clips later today. One of them will be a music clip, so you'll see me in a second in another video. Okay, good morning, or it's morning to me. You won't see this till night, most of you. J. Patrick Morgan, the Wise Man Say Dude, from the Wise Man Say YouTube channel, which has a sister channel on Rumble. This is for the new people. The rest of you already know that. You're subscribers and previous viewers. This particular video is not Electric Scooter Road Show. I was told to separate these real apolitical news and end of days discussion videos largely from the Electric Scooter Road Show because it's 2 different target audiences, and one subject may deter the other target audience from continuing to watch videos in the future. The Electric Scooter Road Show is instructional on all things electric vehicle, all things prepare for power outages and other emergency situations and like that. This is separated from the other videos for that reason, because the other video is more of a secular knowledge thing, what you can use in your own wisdom concerning dilemmas and problems that you run into in the future. This is the spiritual side of it, is the end of days discussion, which will be in the later part of this video in another clip. Real apolitical news, it's just more or less the non-propaganda side of what the news is. So in lieu of both of those, going forward, I should tell you that whether it's secular or whether it's spiritual or whether it's political, extremes is always the wrong answer. Always. No exceptions. Extremes, there's always bunches of flaws. The more extreme you go into one side or the other of anything, the more left wing you go, the more you're going to find flaws in political science. So the more you go to the right wing, further to the extreme, you'll find the same thing, a whole bunch of flaws in political science. The balance in your community perspective, that's what political would be, more community perspective, needs to be there in order to have closer to the whole truth and closer to accuracy on all levels. It doesn't matter if it's gun control, Second Amendment, or it's Omicron variant, or the coronavirus in general, or foreign policy, or national debt. If you're going all the way to the left, you're wrong. If you're going all the way to the right, you're wrong. There's balance and truth in information when it's looked at objectively through the middle. You take what the left says and the right says, and you keep just the parts that are the verifiable truth, and you throw out the rest of it. Because the rest of it is either, one, it's either speculation, or it's biased towards that political party. Independent is always the way to look at it. When you go extreme in either direction with politics, your political science is going to be flawed. That's also the same with spiritualism, with religion. If you put it all in one specific context The Bible is complicated, so you're going to be interpreting this section of the Bible right, and then you've got these whole other sections of the Bible where you're interpreting it wrong. So extremes in religion or extremes in politics, it works the same way. You can't have them. You can't have that at all. You have to have a balanced, objective middle point, or you're just not going to get the whole truth on anything. You have to look at it objectively, or the truth is not there. So we'll start with Omicron variant. Same thing as the rest of the coronavirus. They just updated it with something new. They say we don't know how extreme the symptoms will ever be. They say we don't know how fast it spreads, all these different parameters. They say that they don't know, or they haven't found out yet. They got a general idea of some things, and but it's all very vague. But when it comes to selling something that's a manufactured product like a vaccine, it's still sticking with get the vaccine, get the vaccine, get the vaccine. And the reason we know that is wrong is because they went out of their way to disparage frontline doctors that had treatments out there. It wasn't about your health, it was about politics. Politics of the parameters of emergency use authorization for that vaccine. They can't have the emergency use authorization, or they'll lose it after they get it, when you start presenting other options and various treatments that are effective for coronavirus. Ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and all these other methods that have been put out there as effective treatments for the virus. They've gone out of their way to shut those people down, and the reason for it is not for your health. It's for if the right person gets a hold of this and takes it to court concerning that emergency use authorization at the FDA, they lose the emergency use authorization, and then they have to go through the same 5+ year span that every other vaccine out there had to go through, with clinical trials and animal trials and the whole works. And then they can't keep it on the market. They have to wait to put it on the market. They lose all that investment that they put into creating a coronavirus vaccine. That's politics. Okay. So moving on from Omicron and Corona, the other big thing in the news for Real Apolitical News is the ramp up in school violence, public festival violence like the Christmas parade with the vehicle assault, all that. Of course they're politicizing it, left versus right, Second Amendment versus there's too many bad people can get guns, and all that. You're not going to get the truth on that either unless you look at things objectively. But I've seen lots of people that attempt to present both spiritual and political things objectively, and because people are buying a lot of the lies and propaganda, they think the person that puts the objective thing in there is the extremist, when we're not. The extremist is the person that goes to extremes, not the objective person. Don't look at somebody that's making comparisons to find a middle point as an extremist, because it's the opposite of extremist. We're looking for the truth. The truth is lost when you go to extreme left, extreme right, extreme Pentecostal, extreme somber Orthodox or Catholic quiet church. Extreme. The extremes are always wrong. The objective, balanced truth in the middle every single time. They're reporting the gun shootings on the left in a way to strip the Second Amendment, and on the right in a way to, and they're not beyond putting in half-truths and lies to make their left or right point, and that's where you lose the truth. Objective, in the middle, independent, not extreme on anything, politics or religion. Because that's where you're going to find the most flaws, is on the extreme one side or extreme the other. All the flaws are in not having balance and objectivity. You need to look at the politics like it's a responsible science experiment with the double-blind studies and all the outside factors considered to prove a certain piece of hypothesis for scientific research. So that's the responsible way. The irresponsible way is to let corporate money or political power influence the science. So there you have it with that. You treat the political news as a double-blind study and question every single part of it, and then just keep the parts on the left that's the truth, keep the parts on the right that's the truth, keep the parts on the everything in the middle. That's where two people fighting, the teacher or the playground monitor has to figure out who's wrong, and in most cases they're both wrong. If they're picking sides because Johnny's usually a good boy, well, he wasn't a good boy this time, then that's flawed. There's where bias takes you away from the truth. The truth is, two kids were fighting. They're not supposed to be fighting. We figure out who started it and why the fight, but the fact is they're still fighting, both of them. The truth is in the middle. He started it. He said this he punched me first. The truth is in the middle. Always in the middle. The balanced, objective truth in the middle. That's your real apolitical news part. I'm going to come in with another clip on this entire video. That's the end of day's discussion. We're going to talk about the power or lack thereof of occult symbolism. Yeah. Back for another clip. J. Patrick Morgan, the wise man say, dude. This is the end of day's discussion part of it. It's going to be a bit shorter than the real apolitical news, because I took the extra time in that clip to set the expectations for this video, or these videos, versus the Electric Scooter Roadshow, which is more of a secular education on technology used for emergency situations. And this has a anti-propaganda side with the apolitical news, and a spiritual side with the end of days discussion. And most often those two are separated into different videos for upload too. In this case, I'm combining the two because the subject matter, more than anything else, but most of the time it'll say end of days discussion episode whatever, or real apolitical news episode whatever, just like the Electric Scooter Show has episode numbers. I've been meaning to touch base on this end of days discussion thing for a long time, but I really didn't get the revelation that I was looking for to do it well till more recently. I have to be patient for what is being told to me through various scripture, my dreams at night, or visions, and different things that have to do with spiritual aspect, the spirit versus the physical. So now I've got a little more revelation on it. Christian superstition. This this particular end of days discussion is to discourage it, because being aware of curses, the occult, sorceries, pharmakia, that sort of thing, but still maintaining your faith, that no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and if God is for me, then who or what shall be against me? That you should always be aware of the rampant occult symbolism and TV and business, even. Some of those symbols are on some people's business signs. It's all over the place. Being aware of it and what effects it can have. More specifically, if you're having faith, it has effects on those around you that have less faith than you. That's the positive side of it. If you turn all of that into a panic, get this item out of my house because it's cursed, and then do this panic prayer thing as if as if the devil loves that, because you're showing you're scared. Even though you're praying, you're showing you're absolutely scared to death of it, and you're panicking. The same thing with get this out of my house because it's probably cursed, or turn that TV show off because it's Lord of the Rings and it has occult stuff in it or magic in it. That kind of thing. Reacting to it in panic. You're displaying to people around you that you have faith, because you go right into prayer, and you recognize that it's something that's not good, and you try to shut it down.
Hey, you doing good, brother?
Doing okay. How about you? You try to shut it down as quick as you can, and like that. It's kind of showing other people that you have a level of faith, but you're showing both God and the devil that you don't have that faith, because you're running right into that prayer in a panic sense. You're running right into get the statue out of my house because it means this, that, in a panic sense. So it's bad. You can't. The most common thing that happens, and it's usually in a Pentecostal church, is they're aware of what occult symbolism means, what the occult uses things for in their symbolism for, and it's good to be aware of that. But the persons that are turning it into superstition Christian, they take things that were originally of God that the occult used as a mockery later on, and put those in that category, and that's not right. The term empath, it's used in New Age religions a lot. There's people that will shut down that term when it actually came from Christian circles in the first century, Christians that spoke the Latin language, like with Paul's letters to the Romans, that kind of thing. It's, well, how shall I say this? They're using it as in a mockery sense. You don't stop using the word love just because the occult also uses the word love. You don't stop saying Jesus because the occult says Jesus. You don't stop having a picture of an owl in your house because the occult uses the owl to symbolize something. The owl is a creature that was created by God. And There's nothing wrong with having a picture or a statue of an owl in your house. If you're not praying to that statue or picture or giving it more consideration than God and idolizing it, then have a picture of an owl. They associate a lot of excess insects with some kind of spiritual invasion. Insects were created by God. They're part of the ecosystem. You cannot apply physical world things created by God to 100% of the occult, just because the occult happened to take those things and turn it into something for their purpose. And so that's what I got to say about that. You need to, the panic and fear is in us enough with the news and the different things they present to us in this day and age. Don't add unnecessary panic and fear over superstitious things. You should not be doing that. Yes, there's an occult. Yes, there's a spirit world. But you don't go into it in a mindset of panic. You go into it in a mindset of faith that you have a power to beat a curse. You have the power to beat some piece of occult symbolism that comes on TV. You know, God didn't give us a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. So that's it for this end of days discussion. There's a couple of short video clips between all of this, as you will see once it's uploaded. So, like, dude, this is the end of J. Patrick Morgan, like, serious apolitical news and end of days discussion stuff, man, or something. But be sure to pay attention, because it's very important to catch on the Electric Scooter Solar Roadshow my commentary as Alterego, entitled So Like Dude. So when you want to hear some good commentary on the Electric Scooter Solar Roadshow, like, dude, you gotta watch me on the roadshow that comes usually every Thursday night, man. I'm serious. You got to watch me, Alterego, on the Electric Scooter Solar Roadshow and my special commentary called So Like Dude. I'll see you there.